Good morning, everyone. We have Jordan Desma coming on the show, bringing out our inner athlete, former multiple sport athlete, personal trainer, understandings in nutrition and partnerships. It's really cool to have met Jordan and kind of hear some of his story. So we'll share it with you guys, be inspired, get fitness, starting our morning off right. Happy Monday to you all. Enjoy the morning show. Cheers, friends. Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Talk Terror Morning Show, where we go over tips, tricks, ideas, and exercises to help make you the absolute best person you can be, not only for yourself, but for the people you love and care about most. Everyone, give a warm welcome to my new friend, Jordan. Thank you for coming on.
How's it
to
going?
the show this morning.
Having me. Appreciate you. Thank you guys for having me. How's it going?
So, Jordan, are you a morning person, or are you when are you feeling the most energy throughout the day?
I am the most annoying morning person. I'm a 3 a.m. crew guy.
Oh wow! Okay, yeah, that is rocking and rolling. That is. What do you think? It's just you've always been like that, or is it kind of from sports? I feel like always having practice and stuff like that so early, getting rocking and rolling in the morning.
Yeah. So I've been in sports my entire life. So that way of living, I just got accustomed to morning workouts from as early as middle school all the way throughout high school. Just getting up before school to get it done, and then after school getting it done as well. But yeah, just waking up knowing that the entire world is asleep and it's just me moving and doing what I like to do, and having the silence is the best thing for me. So it's sort of a mental trick for myself, that I used to know that, hey, everyone's asleep, I'm getting ahead, which more or less is not the case, but it's just like I don't have anyone there to bother me to where I can get all of my work done before the world needs me. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like an assurance policy that you're doing what you want to be doing, and yeah, it does feel like you're like ahead of the game in a sense. Yeah, and I get it in reality, time zones and people are like noon in other places and all that, but yeah, there's something so special about kind of getting up. I guess let's kind of start with your journey, man. You're a multiple sport athlete. You've been doing training for like a decade now. So where did this kind of all begin?
So again, like I said, very much in the sports my entire life. Played competitive like travel soccer since I was 5, all the way up until sophomore year of high school. And just like everybody else, just playing basketball, baseball, all the sports growing up. It was soccer, basketball, and volleyball that were my sports. And just through that, I was blessed with also a mom who is a master trainer as well. And she's like helped condition me to be healthy inside and out from youth all the way up until now. And I've just been able to instill practices that other people can benefit from as well. I've been able to instill that in my life very early on. And so waking up super early to go to practice, like establishing that discipline, has helped me carry on throughout life. So 3 sports, multiple sports in between growing up, just being good, just being a natural athlete, and just unfortunately enjoying sweating and just competitive sports and stuff is just amazing to me. So that translated through, and my parents instilled in me education and everything like that. And even though I didn't finish college, I never put down the book. But also they gave me the harsh realities and the numbers of how many people actually go pro and how many people are successful in going pro. So that hit me early, and I sucked it up, and I was just like, hey man, not that I didn't try, but it was also like I found a passion for helping others, and that translated to me working behind the scenes with athletes versus me being on the scene as an athlete. Um, Something about someone performing super well, so well, being so well prepared because of something I said or something I did for them just makes me happy, and it's very satisfying for me. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. This with kind of the influence, I think most of us could agree that the environment that we're in plays a vital role. And that's probably a huge reason why sports are so incredible, because it gets you around like minded people with similar values, pushing yourself. Kind of talk about what was the relationship you kind of had with your parents, and specifically like your mom being a trainer. Were you just like ripping push-ups when you were 5, dude, or like what's like what was the mindset going in? Because it seems like people who get started early have the right fundamentals and the right mindset. I mean,
Mhm.
dude, you're a beast. I was looking over at your workouts and stuff you're doing. I mean, you're really moving and grooving.
I appreciate that, man. So with my mom being a trainer and my parent, like both parents, again, instilling that education. So learning and pairing that with physical skill has been just like the sauce, the recipe to the sauce of everything. And I mean, that applies to everything in life, but just seeing my mom do it, seeing her just like study for all her exams. She's dragged me to many conventions and conferences that she's had to go to, that she has to, that's required for her to stay valid with her certifications and stuff. She's dragged me to those conferences. I've done those workouts. I've met people. I've seen the superstar fitness instructors before influencers was a thing. So just being exposed to it without her even knowing, or maybe she knew what she was doing, but I was exposed to it early. And me being a curious kid, I asked questions at the right time, and I just learned from there. So it I developed the personal training. Um, I don't know what you would call it, the personal training mannerisms very early, because it's me and my mom are like twins. Like if you saw her, I have her face, and if I would put hair on, I would be her. So we share the fitness and being active, and we share the same face and everything else. So when she's doing something fitness, I'm there. When she's coaching someone, I'm there. When she's at home working out, I'm asking questions. She's I don't know how many 5Ks and 10Ks she signed me up for. Definitely was not an in shape kid. No one is. I ate a lot of junk growing up, and like I just eat a lot in general. But I've maintained this level of just staying involved and staying active to where that didn't really have any effects on me, or so it seemed. And yeah, so having that and being involved early on and just being exposed to it all, just makes me I feel like a dinosaur in the game, even though I'm 31 and I've been only been training professionally for 10 plus years. But I feel like I've been here forever because I've seen it all. I haven't done it all yet, but I've seen it all, and I've seen the very beginning of what is now known as an influencer and YouTuber as far as
Yeah.
that goes. So yeah, and I've had like former relationships with those a few of those superstar fitness instructors and fitness guys, and they've just like gamed me up and gave me a lot of wisdom on how to move forward in the fitness space at a young age where I couldn't even certify yet. So I held on to that until I was 21, and I was just like, all right, life happens and um, stuff. So that prolonged my getting certified, but certified at 21, and then I just went on and did my thing. I was personal training before, but just like not recording anything, not registering anything, not letting people know that I personal train. Just people inquired in person. So the actions of personal training I've been doing forever, but to put it on paper, 10 plus years, I would say. So that's the gist. And I know that was a long gist, but that's the gist.
No, it's a beautiful journey, and being able to, like, really, you've had over like 25, 30 years of experience just because you're in it, you're around it, you're just deep into it.
Mm.
It's Was there any points where because that's a lot of exposure, and I think it's really common. I think I've had this with a few things myself, that like my family was so into it and you're around it so much, I
Mm.
almost grew like resistance towards it. Did you feel anything like that, or were you just like the whole time like, this stuff's really cool, I absolutely want to dive into it? I'm curious.
I'm all for it. That's the stuff I love to do. So I know this has nothing to do with it, but I'll rope it in. But I have 3 siblings. I have older sister, older brother, and then a younger brother. So they were the resistors. Not to say that they don't like exercise or anything. We're all completely different, but they didn't take that exposure how I did. But I've also been like, since the jump, I've also been like a geek about how to be better, how to get better performance, the little bitty things to change, because that's what my mom strived and pushed with her training, is just, I can fix you by just looking at you and what you tell me. If we make tweaks here, here, and here, you'll be good. And she had many testimonials and just like clients just saying how she was able to fix them. She's been called the guru many times, and growing up, I'm just like, how because she's also like, I guess you could say, fitness therapized me a few times, or I guess she still does it, but based off of just like how I'm walking and how I'm breathing and how I'm eating and doing daily activities and functions. And she can literally just spot it out and be like, oh well, this is what's going on, you should change it here, blah 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 blah. I do it, I feel better, and I get better performance. I'm just like, how is this possible? So I'm just like, I need to get like that. So since then, I've just like um, strive to see how I can get better, how I can help other people get better. And so with all the exposure, I mean, I loved it. I still love it. I just didn't know what to do with it. I still don't, because I mean, no one's perfect, um,
Mhm.
but looking back, I'm just like, man, I could have did this, man, I could have done that, but I can spend all day doing that, and that'll get me
Totally.
nowhere. Just got to keep pushing forward. But yeah, with all that exposure and stuff, I mean, I put a lot on my plate anyway in the very beginning, because again, I was travel soccer, which is all year round. So that's essentially like 3 seasons in one year. In between that, I was playing basketball pretty competitively as well. And it got to a point where my parents were just like, dude, you have to choose, because I mean, not to my own horn, but I was like really good at both. But yeah, it's just in me, man. So the exposure I had, I welcomed myself, and then any fitness exposure that came with that, I was just around and I was just curious. So you get what you get when you're curious. My mom just like let me see it. She determined it as a safe space. So she was just like, there's nothing bad that can come from this other than him being a better athlete and being in shape and being healthy. And he'll learn something. Because again, I was the 18, 19, 20-year-old who didn't know what he wanted to do, even though I was doing what I wanted to do and didn't know it at the time. But like having a job here, having a job there, and just seeming like I had no direction. So she just kept me in the loop and made sure. And then because I had interest, I kept myself in the loop. And now I'm here today and striving to help as many people as I can, one day at a time, obviously. But
It's cool that you're able to look back and reflect on that and how so many of these principles tie in together, whether it's like in fitness, what being an athlete on a team, or just being a healthier individual in general. You talked about how you were around seeing the initial stage of fitness and personal training, because we would both agree it was a much different field and industry just a couple decades ago to what it is now.
mm-hmm.
And I'm curious on just kind of your philosophy to training and fitness in general. Like, what does that kind of mean to you? What are some things that you still hold on to from the past, like just being exposed to it nonstop, to like how it's changed so much to today? Could you expand a little bit on your philosophy in training and fitness and what that means to you?
Yeah. So my philosophy in fitness, and it's very much just anyone can do athletic training. It's all in the mindset. So with me, with my personal training, I do mindset coaching during the training, and I try to educate as much as I can. But with athletic training, and why I stress it so much is because it's like you bring up athletic training, everyone's just like, well, I'm not an athlete. Like, why am I athletic training and all this other stuff? And it's just like, you don't need to be an athlete to do athletic training. What athletic training does and what people don't tell you that it does is it creates awareness, it creates mind-body connection and coordination. So when you get old and you slip on some ice, 9 times out of 10 that ends people. But with that athletic training, what that can do, build your awareness, build your reflexes. You can catch yourself. Still catching yourself at 60 and 70. I don't know about you, but that's pretty impressive. Because again, people go down with back injuries and hip injuries and stuff like that. So with athletic training, you're building awareness. You're getting stronger. You're getting faster. You're getting sharper around the ears. And for the most part, I think it's the greatest way to stay disciplined. Um, and it's the most efficient way to stay disciplined because you're not going in and just pushing weights all day. Pushing weights with a purpose. There's a lot of intention that goes behind it. And yeah, and also I just think it's fun. But as far as just like philosophy, I mean, do fitness if you wanna recreate the mind. If you want to revamp yourself, fitness is a good outlet. Um, it's the only time you get time to yourself. And I mean, with that time, you can choose to make it a social hour. I know a lot of people go to the gym to go socialize and stuff, which is great. Sense of community is good. But when you're actually just like working on yourself, you really get in tune with what you actually need to work on outside of the physical. And that's the reason why I just push it so much. But that's just my 2 cents on why people think I'm selling athletic training. I don't know why, but um, it's an amazing thing. All fitness is good, so everyone should do it because you'll learn a lot about yourself in those moments.
The state of when you're like really leaning into it, and it seems that it just helps everything else function. And I like to say it on people listening to the show. They know I say this all the time. I mean, if you don't have your health, like, you don't got shit. Like, you can't do anything. Like what is it really for? And talking about, I feel like when you're just in shape and feeling strong, there's just like a whole different, like you're not even the same person, like how you communicate and how you move and how you walk and stuff. It's really crazy. How do you feel about um I was watching this podcast and they were talking about being in the state of flow for training, and they're like not really pushing themselves. They're kind of just doing a little bit of training at a time over a long period of time. I was curious what you thought about that. Like, are you bigger on like really explosive hard training and like really pushing yourself, or is it like, are you more a little gradual? I'm curious how that works for between you and like your clients, if that makes sense.
So for clients, always take the gradual approach, because, and this is for any trainer or anyone who's looking to be a trainer or just any athlete in general. For clients, always take the gradual approach, because you got to understand that the clients that come and see you, they see you because fitness is not their life. They are not you. Maybe they want to look like you, but fitness is not their life. So to get to looking like you or similar to you, they have to be around you. And so that's why they book you as a trainer. So you can take on the fitness part of their life, because they don't do well with that, because fitness is not their life. They're not you. They're not as obsessed with you or anything like that. But they can come to you and gain some tips and tools. And that client trainer relationship goes two ways, because trainers aren't their clients. They can't do what their clients do. They can probably get close, they can probably get similar, but you always take the gradual approach. No matter what it is, it just depends on like how big of a piece you're willing to you know, bite off and work at a time. Um, but if you can do heavy workloads at a gradual pace, obviously take that route. I'm all about going hard, pushing, being explosive, but on the days where you're not doing that, it's insurance time. I like to call it. It's insurance time where you really just like do the steady state of flow stuff, and you check in with what needs to work. Like, can you function inside and out? Can you move inside and out? So with that podcast you watched, I mean, people learn and move at different paces. And if you are the type of person who just needs this set amount, a fixed amount over a gradual period of time, then by all means do it that way. But if you need the excitement, you need the adrenaline to just like feel good, dude, kick it in high gear. Why not? Be safe though.
Yeah.
Be safe when you're doing it, and do your research before you do anything. Because I know on social media right now, the fitness industry with social media is full of a lot of people who aren't certified.
Dude, it's
Uh,
wild. People are doing wild stuff to get views.
mhm. And they're like, you're strong enough to do that, and you're wanting clients, and you're getting clients. Understand, your clients cannot do that. So you know now you have to dial it down. So I mean, you can do all of that stuff for the clout and all the likes and stuff, but like when it comes down to helping people and people wanting to pay you, understand that there is a misunderstanding and a lack of communication of what payment for a program or payment for training is. When someone's handing
Mhm.
over money, they're also saying, hey, don't hurt me. I see the crazy stuff that you do. I can't do this. And with what happens is with some trainers, when they aren't certified, they'll just throw out anything. They don't have any like direction in what their program is doing. They'll have a good program for like a good month, and then they don't have any direction on where to go after that. So people get left hanging. People get hurt, because no one taught them how to do this stuff. So that's that's the tough thing about the fitness industry right now is just that it's a lot of people that aren't certified, that get in shape and wear cool clothes. Because I will admit, like clothes right now is that's at an all time high right now. It's never been like this before. So when you're wearing cool clothes or big clothes, mind you, where you can hide all your imperfections and you're at the gym working out, it all looks good. But again, you have that responsibility for the people that follow you, um, to make sure that they progress too. So yeah, but yeah, to answer the question, I know I rambled a little bit, but to answer the question, take that gradual approach. It's
This
just size of the gradual approach. It differs between it's subjective. It differs between person to person. So yeah.
I really liked what you said about you're not, I mean, you're paying for results. We're paying for to get our problem solved, not to get hurt. My brother's really into physical fitness, and sometimes I'm working out with him, and then I like can't even function and work for like a
Mm.
couple of days, and it's like, man, I really shouldn't be doing this, but this rewards, it's really hard to not do things, I'd imagine, that reward you. I don't know if you're a fan of Bradley Martin and I remember his original stuff. He was squatting 405 on a hover round.
Mm-hmm.
Easily could have killed himself, but
Yep.
that blew him up. And so it's like, well, if I do something crazy, then, I'll be kind of rewarded for it. So it seems like it can be like a bit of a dangerous game, because it's like we're all playing this game of trying to get each other's attention, and then we're kind of having, in fitness, people are going over the top. I remember watching this video the other day. This girl was doing some heavy weight, and then this guy was trying to be an alpha male, so he tried like deadlifting it with like one arm, and his back's like all arched and stuff, and just like hiking it up, or he's like curling her like PR or something, and his back's all like jacked up. It's just nuts to me. But
Definitely a fan of Bradley Martin. Well, I wouldn't say fan. I'm not just like, oh my god, it's B Merritt for Bradley Martin.
he's a cool dude. He's super successful. It's working.
Yeah, but I mean, my take on that stuff is just like Bradley knew what he was doing, and that was for him. Bradley can do that, and that's why he did it. And he understood the algorithm probably better than most at the time. But while he was doing all that crazy stuff, his message never changed. And that's why he's as successful as he is now, is because his message never changed. He still helped people through squatting on that, through jumping out of the pool, through squatting on that hoverboard. He was also saying like, hey, like stop effing around, like dude, be healthy. Health is all you got. But also he provided, I mean, I don't think he trained people this way, but he provided ways to, hey, if you want to be able to be strong enough to like jump out of a pool, or you want to like, I can teach you how to get this strong to where, so like if you inquired, he'd help. But his messaging never changed. So it's always
Cool.
been more or less positive. So
Well, I've had the privilege of meeting a few trainers now, and this one girl in particular I got to meet, and she makes a crap load of money doing these online like training sessions where she doesn't meet them in person, stuff like that. I'm curious what your opinion is on like the online versus the in person, because I think it's so hard to substitute the in person. But I mean, the money wasn't lying. Like you just can't be at so many places at once. So like, how do you balance like the tack and being like, because like you were alluding to earlier, everyone's so specific where they're at, and like being there and seems really special, but this is also a business, you don't work for free. So how do you kind of balance the online versus the in-person training world?
Well, I am new to online training. I find high value uh, in-person training because when I train, so my purpose of, and I think this is the purpose of personal training in general, is for the client to not be with you the entire time because they're not learning from you at all if they're coming to you every day. For now, there are moments where you have clients for 10 plus years, what have you. And my mom has that because she's been working with like older folks, and she's taken on a project that will take 5, 10, 12 years to grow. But she's been able to harness that relationship and really make some changes. But for the personal trainer now, it's just like, if you're not here learning from me, then we're not going to get anywhere, because the real results come when you are doing the right things when you're not seeing me. So with me, online training is new because I don't get that in-person aspect. And when I do train, I educate as much as I can while I'm training. I try to, and especially like now, people, the younger folks need to know everything and why they're doing it. And I don't know what younger folks, what age group that applies to, but just my experience, just they need to know why they're doing something and what it's going to do for them. So I tell them. So it's a lot of education that comes with my training. So that's why I find high value in-person training. Online fitness, phenomenal. I'm glad that opened up. I got to the party a little late, but I'm still trying to figure it out. I write programs and put them up, but yeah, as far as just like getting on a screen and training someone, it was the thing that we had to do during the pandemic and stuff, but it's not something that made me feel good in a sense. I didn't really like it. But yeah, I mean, if anyone can like figure that out, and because as the pandemic taught us, we don't have to be anywhere to do anything. So if you could figure that out and it's comfortable for you, by all means, do it, and do it to the max. Clearly she did. And she figured it
Yeah.
out. So, but with that comes a lot of responsibility, which she's been able to take on as well. So
Yeah. So this the dedication and just the personal investment, do you see this? I mean, is it a real struggle to keep clients motivated? Or people, or like when people pay you money, they're pretty much ready to rock and roll? I'm curious how often that happens. I know it seems in like usually the number one goal every year. I'm big goals guy. And the biggest goals are always tied around health. Jordan, I got to lose 10 pounds. I got to do this. Are a lot of your clients like really motivated and very consistent, or do you have to be like the motivator for them? And how do you go about that?
Always got to be the motivator. My clients are also pretty consistent, but the reminder, because I mean, if you're really training someone, they should be gassed at the end of the day. So at the end of that training session, so they get the brain fog. They don't really have time to think or whatever. But just to tie it all in, just in general, generally speaking, with goal setting and like, hey, I want to lose 10 pounds. I want to do this. I want to do that. That tells me as a trainer that that health, and that's the start of you having a better life. There's a common knowledge of, if I start losing weight or if I start working out, I'm going to feel better. And if I feel better, I'm going to do better. And if I do better, then that's all I wanted in life. So if there's that common understanding amongst everyone, if that's the common go-to, then then the excuse shouldn't stop you at all. So I think with setting goals too is just like, if you're as a trainer, you have to, with your clients, you have to have that connection in the beginning, or else. And how that happens is you being a good listener. If you listen and you watch your clients, you'll know exactly how to motivate them without having to do much. And that's what I do. I refer back to what they told me back in the day, or what they told me when they signed up. I refer to what they have coming up and why it's important. Um, and I just, when they leave me for the day, I try to instill in them that this is what you're doing it for. I know I'm not gonna. I know you're going out of town, or I know I'm not gonna see you for like a couple weeks. Keep this in the forefront of your mind. Like, this is what you're doing it for. But and I know this isn't part of the question, but with fitness in general, it's the whether you're doing a career change, you're going through a career change or a life change, or like you're revamping yourself or whatever, fitness being the first thing that you hit is the main goal, is because I I feel my philosophy on that is, to start from nothing and become everything, you have to learn how to vibrate. And that is changing yourself inside and out. People, whether you're a spiritual person or not, people pick up energies quick before they even say hi to you. So if you're having a good day because you had a good workout, someone's going to pick that up. And that's either going to spark a conversation through compliments or whatever. And then boom, there it goes. Conversation over time, compliments over time. Now you have this whole community. It's been a year since you made this change. Now look at what you're doing. So setting those goals and staying motivated has to be a strategic. You have to take the strategic route when you're doing that, because I mean, you can be going online scrolling and you can see all these people yelling mantras at you, me included. But if you have no connection to it, it's not gonna work. So people need to connect to their purpose, but also trainers need to connect to their client and their purpose, and try to see everything through so that you can effectively push without being too pushy.
This, I really liked how, like, it's not, sometimes I feel like I don't even need to learn more things. I just need reminders and accountability back to the fundamentals. I think of people like Kobe Bryant, and he's like, man, this ain't nothing fancy, homie. I'm just down here. I'm getting to the elbow. I'm shooting my shots. I'm doing the things that I need to do on a consistent basis. But having that reminder, an external force, kind of helps align it. And also, like, you got to want it, right?
Yeah.
You, like, from yourself, this, sometimes, I'm sure it's happened to you before, where you want people to achieve their goals more than them.
Yeah.
And it ends up sinking the shit, because Jordan, I mean, you're about to knock yourself out with those pecs you got, man. But this, like, you can't be doing the push-ups for them at the end of the day.
Right.
And it's pretty cool that you're able to, like, tie the two together.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to ask, yeah, go ahead, please.
With what you're talking about, is just like, and that's my philosophy with like fitness sales now. And I'm not shutting down anything. Like, fitness sales is still a thing, but like, it comes down to, do they want to do it or not? Because you as the trainer, or you as the business, it sells itself. You're just like, hey, we have equipment. Just like everybody else, we have equipment that can get you healthy. or hey, I'm the personal trainer, want to look like this. It all sells itself. So you can't sell anyone on anything because they got to want to do it. And it goes back to fitness being the common knowledge, like the common thought of how to get better at life. They know they have to do it. They know they want to do it. Are they ready to do it now? Maybe not, or maybe they are. So you can't really sell the fitness. People just gotta, they either want to do it or they don't. So that, I just wanted to throw that in there because again, you said people want to do it or they don't. So I was just like, all right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you an Alex Ramosi fan by chance? I really like a lot of his business stuff. Him and his wife.
Have not. So
Yeah.
like Alex Ramosi and yourself, you guys have a lot of content. So when you dive in to that one person, you got to go all in and understand everything because it it comes down to one day you'll see some clickbait and then you'll be like, nope, I'm done. I don't like you'll see a headline and it's just like they said what, and most of the time, if not all the time, is all taken out of context. So um, yeah, I have not dove into his content yet, but his name is thrown around quite a bit with everyone across all platforms of business. So
Yeah, I mean, he's rich as shit. Him and his wife really figured out a lot of things. It's going well for them. So one thing before we get into our last section, what are some of the most common challenges that you see from your clients? Are you recognizing patterns in people? Like, what are the biggest challenges that your clients face, and what's some advice to help overcome them?
food and time. Developing a great relationship with food when you come from a past of not having a great relationship with food. Uh, that's been the number one thing, and then time follows like right up. Time is probably the biggest excuse, only because it's like when you're trying to change your life for the better, sacrifices have to be made. I air quote that is because if you want to change, it's no longer a sacrifice. You're just doing it because you want to do it. So time is the biggest excuse, and challenge is one of the biggest excuses and challenges because people will find time to do so much other things that could be detrimental to their health or their mental, what have you. But then when it comes to that 1 hour or that 30 minutes of just let's make sure that all our body parts work and let's make sure that we are strong and like making sure our heart is healthy for 30 minutes. They're just like, oh no, I can't. That all the excuses. I don't have time. Food is the most challenging though because it's all around us. It is marketed to us in very many different ways. Everything looks so good, and that is a challenge for me as well. Me being a personal trainer, you would think, oh, you're always in shape, blah blah blah. No, we all struggle too, but over time, we've just developed a great relationship with food. We know what does what, and we know how to finagle through certain things. We are in a time right now where food is seeming scarce and like very unhealthy, and everyone's becoming a conspiracy theorist, and they're just like, "Oh, the government's doing this, blah blah blah." Blah. I don't get into that stuff. Maybe the government is. I don't know, but um, everyone's like very like inquisitive and just like very curious, like what's in what. So I would just say take the time to see what you like, what you don't like. Go to doctor's visits. Doctors will tell you if you ask, like what you can and cannot eat, and they won't say like specific things, but they'll say, "Hey, so you're this blood type. You have this going on. You have a history of this. These are the chemicals that you should like either stay away from or you should." Um, you should consume more of. You shouldn't consume a lot of chemicals, but everything's a chemical. But anyway, um, it it literally starts with just research. So cut your scroll time in half. Go to Google, start researching some stuff. You'd be all right. That's a good start, at least, because we all know scroll time can go anywhere from 5 minutes to 4 hours, and it's mostly towards that 4 hour end. Um, and I don't know what the science is behind that. I don't know how it gets to that point. Um, we'll waste a whole day on TikTok just scrolling through. So I would say cut that in half or cut that in three quarters. Take that three quarters over to doing some research and studying yourself. And yeah, I mean, I can only recommend. I'm not a nutritionist or anything, so I can only recommend and highly suggest. But I try to educate as much as possible, and it all starts with here's what this did for me. We are different. I'm not exactly sure what it'll do for you, but if you look at the general, if you take the general consensus of how many people eat like this and see their results, I'm sure you can make that change too. So, unfortunately, it comes down to the individual because you're not with them while they're eating most of the time. I would love to be that trainer, by the way, that just pops up to someone's house and just be like, "So, what's on the menu? You're definitely not eating that." Just slapping cake out of people's hands and stuff. Amazing, but yeah, it comes down to the individual and doing research and what works for them and what does not. So
This the most freeing and imprisoning answer that at the end of the day it's up to us. And the man, with so many studies and so many that I am really excited about how you talked about how inquisitive our youth has become about. I can't pronounce that. I probably shouldn't eat it, which is not, that's good. We should be asking questions. I mean, my grandpa, he's 90 years old and he's still like, he likes spam and like bologna sandwiches and stuff like that. It's like that's probably not good. I don't know what's going on up in there, but so I like the questions, but also you talked about the marketing is, I mean, these are billion-dollar companies that are just, they're like, you're hungry, man. Come on. You know what you want. $7 build your own box at Taco Bell or whatever the hell they have options for them. But yeah, some of these challenges, I feel like just being scared of change, I'm sure comes up, and just, like fear and just a lot of frustration of looking and feeling a certain way. I think I'm sure you see it with your clients. They don't even know how bad you feel until you feel good from breaking a sweat with Jordan. So it can be really tough, but
on the flip side of that too, sorry to add, but on the flip side of that too, it can get, you were saying fear, and like I deal with this sometimes too, is like fear of success. Because people can like foresee what's to come. So they get in shape, they get healthy. It's just like, ooh, that's a lot of pressure because now I'm that guy. Now I'm that girl. Like, what do I do now? They can see what's going to come with that, because of they're afraid of their own minds and like what they're going to turn that into and like how much work that's going to take. So sometimes that's the fear too, because it's just like, we are still in a time where nice bodies, abs and stuff like that, comes with pressure. Because then now it's just like, even though we push body positivity and like everything like that, it's just like you still can't eat that cinnamon roll, bro. As much as you like, it's cool and like your body will eat it up or whatever. You're the gym guy. You're the muscle girl. You got big quads and everything like that. You can't eat that. So it's the pressure of like being successful sometimes can scare people away too, because they can
Yeah.
see the pressure that'll come when they get healthy, which is messed up because it's like, no, you get healthy so you can live. We need you here. Like so I would say just take the muscles and stuff will come. Just take the stress off of that. You're gonna get ripped anyway. Make sure you're healthy inside. If you're healthy
Yeah.
inside, you can do anything.
Right. This, it's really, yeah, sometimes I can get lost. I'm a really big fan of the older bodybuilder age with like Jay Cutler and Ronnie Coleman. That was probably
Mhm.
my favorite era. And they um what was going on in the inside, doesn't so really focusing on improving your inside to help, I think the outside will follow, right? If you eat the right things, if you're taking care of yourself, and man, just the feeling that you get of doing this stuff consistently is seems really powerful.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, these the dinosaurs of fitness, they are still here. And they've figured out a way. Like, fortunately for them, they've been able to be in the fitness and health space to a level to where they have all sorts of people in their ear and around them, not just yes men, but like people who care. Because at the end of the day, most of them, if not all of them, did the research in whatever was detrimental. They did the research on how they can get in and get out and be healthy.
Mhm.
So, they have doctors around to where they can take part in biohacking, which is I think the coolest thing ever. Um, to where they can like cleanse everything that they put their bodies through to prolong life and everything. Because I mean, Jay Cutler is only in his 50s, so and he's still looking the way he's looking. Um,
He's
but
on
again,
those south of the border supplements.
no,
Or yeah, what's your opinion on drug abuse in fitness,
mm,
performance enhancing drugs? Have you ever used performance enhancing drugs, and like how do you kind of see it playing a big role into the future?
take all of them. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. No, I'm a very natural person. I don't take any performance enhancing drugs, but I think everything's performance enhancing, whether it's a drug or
Mm,
not. Um, but yeah, performance enhancing drugs, anything that's like not natural that the body doesn't make, I don't think you should take because again, if the body doesn't make it, the body doesn't know how to break it down. And at some point, it's gonna you have to. So what's so interesting? The train or the link of how, yeah, we'll call it the train of how performance enhancing drugs go. You take the performance enhancing drugs, then you got to take something else for it to flow out. So that drug that you took in the beginning and at first that has side effects, then the thing that you took to get rid of that thing that had side effects has side effects. So it's just like you're not even tracking that. And so you're only seeing the results, the temporary results, and you're feeling great and stuff like that. And all those performance enhancing drugs also have an addictive like additive in it, to where you can get hooked or you wouldn't know how to function once you're done taking them. So I don't condone it, but if you must, by all means, live your life, do what you want to do. I can't tell you what to do. um, it is crazy and amazing to see what happens when people do take these drugs, and like it makes life exciting, I guess, because it's just like, oh, he just did blah blah blah. The body's not able to do that yet. He did it and she did it. This is crazy. But because like watching Barry Bonds crack homers, I mean that's pretty nice to watch. Yeah, like I mean, and it was a time too. You had Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa, everybody with like arms the size of freaking tree trunks, just like cracking them crazy. So I mean, that was cool to see. It was good for a time. But if you ask people how they feel, sometimes the majority feels like shit after they take it. Um, Also, if you're gonna do it, do the research first. But I don't condone it at all. Willpower, that's a drug that someone can take. I take that every day. Willpower, believe it or not, is the strongest thing, the strongest drug known to man. The mental will make you, the mental will break you. So if you can build and create a strong willpower and mindset, to where you can do anything you want to do, that's gonna take you further than you know. So
Yeah.
that's my take. Yep.
This like we were talking about Bradley Martin squatting 400 pounds on a hover round or whatever, and this idea that very fast results, very big results, if we're being, there's just a level that these drugs can get your body to from an aesthetic performance standpoint that you can, that's why they're banned
Mhm.
and in combat in a lot of combative sports and stuff. And so I see how the temptation can be very alluring, but I loved what you said about if your body doesn't make it, it's not going to have a clue on
Yeah.
how to break it down. And then you got to take the next thing. And then you got to take the next thing to help with the side effects. And then it's just kind of like this symptom relief. And
Mhm.
I'm sure, who knows, right? In the future, they figure it out to make it some special secret sauce that, you know, you can do triple backflips and there's no side effects or whatever. But I don't
It's
know.
gonna get
I
there.
feel like I'm going to lean there. It just seems like a head game and like a chase. My father used to be a monster in the weight room, and he loved the special sauce south of the border, and like emotionally and just like body dysmorphia and like a whole bunch of stuff that I'm glad I got exposed to when I was young, because I'm like, dude, I don't want
Mhm.
to have to deal with that vicious cycle.
What's pretty cool what's pretty cool about that, the flip side of that people don't talk about though is that, um for the guys and the girls who are taking that stuff, who mean well, they're not pushing that stuff on anyone. So yeah, they're taking it and stuff, but like they're not pushing it on anyone to where they're just like selling it. Again, you have those who are selling, but for the most part, those guys are still those guys and girls are still like pushing out good advice and good vibes and everything like that. Because, and to be honest with you, a lot of these PEDs have a lot of emotional side effects. So the face that they have to put on every day just to say, "Oh, I'm loving this, I'm crushing it." And obviously, again, the gym is just like paradise for them. But when they leave the gym and go home, man, some of these people fall into like crazy depression. They're so unhappy, and it's because it's the PEDs playing with their hormones, and they're all in their feels and stuff. So to to those who are using but not selling, I mean, again, wish them all the best, but like appreciate you for not selling, because they're still in the gym. Like the people who ask them are helping and saying like, "Yo, you can do this. This is how you do this." They're pushing good like information out, but to not, as long as it's not sold. Unfortunately, that's what's happening right now. Um, but yeah, that triple backflip, front flip, all in one, while holding a cell phone and taking a selfie. That pill is coming, man, because it's $1 trillion business, and that unfortunately fuels the world and my livelihood, unfortunately. So I just won't be taking it. So unless it's
Well,
healthy,
if
man.
you don't need to, clearly you don't need to, my man. Like you're absolutely a monster in there as it is. So it's I couldn't even imagine. But yeah, I mean until like you said, you need to. I've seen cases like people post-op surgery or like certain diseases and stuff like that. I understand with the guidance of good doctors, not kind of the amateur opinion of just like some freak show throwing weights around. And you're like, I want to be like that guy, and I'll do whatever it takes. And
Yep.
just there's always more to what we see. People's like you were talking about emotions and like serotonin and all the stuff going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's crazy, but I mean, again, a lot of the older and traditional ways of like training and just living, those were trial and error days, and will always be in trial and error. So I would just say hats off to those who took the L for us, because now we know what not to do. Um, and we're unfortunately, again, we're still in that cycle, and we'll never be out of that cycle of just trial and error. Because now we have, it's so interesting, now we have like so many ways of living, so many ways of eating. Pescatarian, vegetarian, vegan, there's all these tarians and isms, and it's just like, just stay healthy, please. We saw what others have done and what the result of that was. So now you know what to do and what not to do. Ask the right questions, do the research, and you'll be all right. Yes, no on PEDs. But I mean, that ties into also the doing whatever it takes mantra, which sucks, um, because it'll people care for their families and their friends so much to where they'll hop on that PED, have the greatest season ever, get that max out contract. Now you just fed a bunch of families that aren't your immediate family. You started all these businesses that have created jobs for so many people, and your maybe your home life is really good, maybe your spouse is happy and everything like that, but for the most part, um, it it gets into things and like material stuff. But again, the being able to help, that's the crazy side of it, is just like you hopped on PEDs, you did whatever it took to snatch the money to be able to care for your community, and that's exactly what you did. But unfortunately, your body didn't think so. So now, yeah, sad, great, and sad at the same time. But you know,
That's an interesting way to look at it. This, I mean, it can get you to where you want to go. I had the privilege, one of my best friends, his cousin married an NFL player, and he was just kind of talking about the reality of like drug abuse and what we're doing and stuff like that. And the league minimum now is 750K. And he's like, I don't like doing it, but I can't get cut. Like I'm trying to perform. I'm trying to show up. I'm trying to feed my family. I'm trying to like create generational opportunities and stuff. So there's always crazy, crazy sides to it. We love Jordan's opinion this morning. Let's go
appreciate
ahead and segue into the coaching session so you guys can learn a little bit more about Jordan before we cut
Sweet.
out of here this morning. All right, let me get rid of this banner so we can see a little better. Okay, Jordan, we're going to be just knocking out some coaching questions again, folks. You can journal these questions, keep them in your back pocket. They're great for personal branding, social media content, or just getting to know people you love and care about most. But we're going to go over some questions and learn a bit about Jordan. All right, Jordan, first question for you is one way that you can be kinder to yourself? What is one way that you can be kinder to yourself?
One way you can be kinder to yourself. Sleep on time. Get enough sleep.
And these are coming from your perspective for your life, just
Yep.
to clarify.
Yes. I'm not a good sleeper, and I've been working on this for the past 5 years, and my moods and my skin and my energy has improved. So get enough sleep. It's not there because the world says it's nighttime and it's daytime. Your body's tired, man, and I don't know who travels at all, but the perspective I've gotten from uh, other places across the globe is just like Americans are so focused on work, 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 work. That's all we do. I love it. Like work, 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 work is always cool, but we are missing so much when we are just like working, 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 working. So you get enough sleep, that'll open your eyes to a lot of stuff. Your energies will improve. Your skin will improve. I know all the ladies want good, clear skin. I guess the guys do now too. So that'll help all around. You'll have more energy to do everything that you want to do.
Nice. Getting sleep. How many hours do you get a night?
I am now up to 7.5 on average. I was
Okay.
like 3. I was good to live off of like 3 to 5.
3?
Yeah,
Dude.
because I'm a 3 a.m. crew guy. So I'm up 3, 4 a.m. That's when I'm thriving. When I'm not talking to anyone, it's just me. 3, 4, 5, 6 a.m. 7 a.m. is the cutoff. I'll have a whole day before I start my day and before everyone starts their day. And I was good off of that. And then I burnt out. I took my health a lot more seriously. I'm prepping for a men's physique show. Now it's something new that I've dabbled into, and I've learned that rest is key. So sleep's going to get you better performance for everything.
Dang, that's incredible. Okay, sleep, folks. Maybe it's we darken it, just making sure to put in the time in. I've always done really well with just going to bed earlier.
Yep.
Versus starting there and seeing if that can be helpful.
Yep.
Next question to keep it rolling with you. What is one thing that you love about yourself? What is one thing you love
about myself? My work ethic.
Work ethic.
Actually, no, you can change that. My willpower. Sorry.
Willpower. You were talking about that earlier.
Yes, sir. A lot of people ask me, and I know pre-workout is like the most amazing thing known to man right now for young folks. I do not take pre-workout. And everyone's just like, you don't take pre-workout to do all the stuff that you're doing? You don't take pre-workout? I was like, no. Because my willpower is strong. I say I'm not going to do this so I can do this. I also think ahead of time, like how much I'm going to enjoy doing this thing that's challenging. So I'm just like, this is challenging, but I know I definitely can do it. Like this wouldn't be in my possession. This wouldn't be in front of me if I couldn't do it. So I'm just like, I'm just going to go do it.
Yeah.
Simple.
If you had to define willpower, like how would you kind of define it in like a short sentence in a few words?
Willpower is being able to push through any and all challenges because it's important to you. There is a importance that you know that's sitting in the back of your mind that you know it's gonna take you to new heights. So willpower is the well, how can I make this so like scientific so people can digest it? Willpower.
I just read a book the other day and they were I can't remember. They were just saying it's when you keep promises to yourself. And
I'm not a good promise keeper though, so
yeah, just like I said this, so I do this. or this is what
Willpower
I
is a
want.
standard. Yep. That's
A
exactly what
standard,
it
a
is.
value. Beautiful.
It's a standard that keeps it's a standard that keeps it's a standard that elevates on a daily basis
Beautiful.
that
What
you
do you
have.
want to celebrate at the end of the year?
I want to celebrate the what do I want to celebrate? Oh crap. I want to celebrate the trademarking and official launch of my sports performance brand.
Oh, cool. You want to
Yes.
talk a bit more about that?
Yes. So I have a sports performance brand called All Pro Athlete that represents. It's a brand and agency that represents team sport athletes and their coaches in a fitness setting. So right now, a lot of the fitness brands you see, it's everyone, you know, pushing big weights, bodybuilding mostly. But we're not seeing the speed and agility training that goes on. We're not seeing the sports medicine that is taking place. We're not seeing that's all practice and that's all training. Going to go do self care because you need to be able to move. That's all practice and all training. That's all stuff that goes into. That's all. It's all time being spent being a better you, not just pushing a lot of weights. So I want to dive deep into the specifics of how we're getting faster and how we're getting stronger. We're not just doing bench press. We're not just PRing on deadlifts. We're doing sprints. We're doing box jumps. We're going on hikes. We're doing these insane runs. We're also going to a med spa and sitting in a septic tank. We're also hitting the O2 bar. We're also getting acupuncture done so that we'll feel better and releasing stress. All of that I'm exposing. It's marketing and PR for those team sport athletes and their coaches.
That's so cool.
Yes.
Well, we'll
Volleyball.
be continue to check in on Jordan's. Make sure to in the description for the link below, you're going to have his Instagram with his affiliates, his All Pro Athlete links, and also his website. So make sure to check that out in the description here below. Jordan, next question for you I have. What is your biggest challenge right now? What is your biggest pain in the ass?
My biggest challenge is lack of confidence across all aspects of my life.
Confidence. You were saying a ton of amazing things, and you were like, you said sorry to me. I couldn't help but notice. You're like, sorry to say this, and then you'd say something genius. I'm like, what are you saying sorry for, man? I was like, dude, that shit's good.
Yeah,
Thanks.
I've been practicing, and I everything that I say motivational or whatever, I'm speaking from the trenches. Like I'm in the fight with everybody else. So I'm just being a good peer so we can all rise together and be better people. So everything I'm saying is to make everyone better along with me. So my lack of confidence and conviction, that's a big thing. And that confidence is like speaking with conviction is just like everything that you do, whether you're selling yourself, whether I'm doing anything else, is just like you know how and what to do with this, and you know how long you've been doing this, and you know how it's supposed to go. It's all up here. It's not in anyone else's mind. So like, why are you just like shy and holding back from something that you think is so genius? Because I have these conversations with myself all the time, like with the sports performance brand. I'm just like, man, all these designs that I have, so fire. Everyone's gonna love it. I'll make something, I'll put it out, and then I pull it before I even have like inventory to sell. So like now I'm just being kinder to myself. Reference to the first question, being kinder to myself to just like develop the confidence and move with conviction and move as the future me, but do it like now. So how I see myself in the future, move that way now. So
Yeah.
work in progress.
That's all we are, right? Is we're kind of like we're all this big science project of just seeing the patterns, recognizing the opportunities, and then having a smile and a little kindness to ourselves. I feel like we take all this fancy hoopla, like I got 450 episodes of this bad boy, and you could really just distill it down to being, I'm just going to be a little kinder to myself today. And I
Yep.
mean, the evidence is there. I mean, you're jacked, you got a business, you're moving forward with your life. Like the evidence is there. It's just like, can we recognize it? Can we recognize this stuff? Final question for you, Jordan. What is your number one goal? What is your number one goal? You only get to pick one. All the other goals aside, if you could accomplish this one goal, what do you think it would be?
Opening up a training facility, my own training facility, state-of-the-art training facility.
Where do you want the facility to be at?
Either in Illinois or in the Carolinas.
Oh, where you do you have family there? Have you been there? The Carolinas?
I just moved back from North Carolina. I started in Wilmington.
Oh, beautiful.
It was
Yeah.
coastal.
Right on the water.
At first I hated it, and that was just because I'm coming from city suburbs and everything like that, so it was a slower pace of life. And then I was just like, wait, this is amazing. So yeah, there, but also, and then I was considering Arizona too, but I need to go to through business and stuff, you got to go to places where you can get like some traction and people coming in and stuff. So Wilmington has a very established and thick fitness culture because it's beach town. I like to think of Wilmington as Miami, but it's all real bodies. So you're not actually going to see like, the BBLs and stuff. Like everybody worked for their stuff down there. So, but yeah, everybody's in shape there because it's beach town. Everyone's surfing. Everyone does beach activities, and they get a lot more sun than Chicago. So, not to say that Chicago's not fit or doesn't have fitness culture, but Chicago being like Midwest, we are like a lot larger than most and broader than most. So when you go down there, everyone's just like very cut, very just, clean eating and shape. I mean, it is the South still. So, but yeah, Carolinas or Illinois is where
Cool.
I want it. Yes.
Well, we'll be staying in touch, my friend. We're gonna make sure that this happens. Training facility. It's gonna be the biggest. It's gonna be the best in the business. Can't wait.
Absolutely.
Everyone, it's been a privilege and an honor, kind of, to meet you formally and get to know you a little bit, man. You got awesome values. You got a great head on your shoulders. It's in your blood to do this stuff, and dude, you're rocking and rolling. Just keep doing what you're doing, and it's going to help a lot of people, and I'm excited.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Do you do like business coaching and stuff too? Yeah.
Yes. Yep. Do business coaching. Do detoxes. I like to think of I'm the accountability and consistency guy for your personal brand, to be trying as specific as possible. If you're going to tell me you're going to do this at 4:00, and you're going to get a message and a call from me at 4:00. It's I've done a lot of different training programs, and at the end of the day, there's nothing that replaces human connection to me. Like I'm sure you've noticed in your personal training, and I just want people to keep the promises they make to themselves, because you know yourself better than I ever could. And so you know what to do. We need to just create the environment and the accountability to get this shit done. You just gotta, it's going to make you feel so good. We just need the fire. And if I got to be on here screaming every morning, until you do it, like that's my purpose. That's fine. But yeah, coaching is,
we definitely appreciate you for that.
Oh, thank you very much. It's sometimes sometimes feeling a little tired in the morning. And if everyone can just figure out like their waterfall system, like what they really enjoy doing. I found my waterfall system with the morning show, but if everyone can just kind of find that little 1 to 2 hour window to start their day off right and get excited and charged up, I think it just makes for a happier and healthier life.
We all get the same 24, man.
24. We got dudes out here going to space, building side companies and stuff. You can't tell me you don't have enough time. When I might be a little harder of a salesman than most, and so just a forewarning, if people work with me, I'm going to push because I want us to be great. And when people tell me I don't have enough time, I like to say, are you lying to me or you?
Whew.
Who we lying to, folks? Who we lying to?
Question of the day. Holy crap.
Who you lying to?
I'm taking that. I'm going to sit on that for myself.
Take it to the bank, man. People want this stuff. Like it can be a little tough, but it's I'm trying to rip the Band-Aid off sometimes when it's
all it takes. Yeah. That's all it takes. That's all it takes, man. Because sometimes
Jordan,
metaphor, real quick, I'll stay on that metaphor.
Yeah. Metaphor.
Gotta rip the Band-Aid off because sometimes that wound's been a scab for forever and you ain't even know because you had the Band-Aid off, then you had the Band-Aid on the entire time, yet it's been healed for so long. And it's trying to be new skin. It's trying to be new skin, covering it up.
Yeah, exactly. Just covering it up.
Gross. It's a little gross, but yeah, y'all get the gist.
Hey, that makes people remember.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to feed to our audience before we get out of here, my friend?
jmdfitness.com. Go ahead and inquire, changing pricing structure and everything. So definitely going to be a lot more packages up there or programs, actual set programs up there coming in the next like 2 weeks. But also a lot more opportunities to apply for in-person training. Because I will admit, right now my prices are way too high. And that's just being honest with everyone. And right now, the main focus is just to get everyone moving and get everyone healthy. So I'm definitely going to follow through on that end. And yeah, jmdfitness.com. Go ahead and hit the questionnaire. That questionnaire is pretty detailed, so that'll tell me everything about you. Go ahead and book a call, and then we can just hash it out and see what we can do moving forward. We are heading towards the end we're halfway through the first quarter, and first quarter unsatisfaction reports are in early, and we definitely didn't do anything with that gym membership. So again, it goes back to who we lying to, me or yourself. And let's figure it out.
All right, make sure to give you guys, again, the website, JMD Fitness, is down in the description below. Also, make sure to go follow Jordan on Instagram if you want to see Hercules himself running, doing his own thing. These physique shows, I'll be peeping on you, my man. It'll be I'm excited to see how you perform and keep getting yourself more conditioned and ready to rock and roll. But
appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Your journey, your purpose, it's on point, my friend. It's to the moon. Nowhere else to go.
Nowhere else to go.
All right, Jordan, stick around with us after the show. We'll be chatting a little bit, but wave goodbye, everybody. We're out of here. We'll catch you on the next one. Make sure to tune in bright and early tomorrow morning. We'll be having Quincy Coombs on, and he's living out in LA. He just got another deal. He's getting Netflix credits, and it's going to be really cool to hear him in audio engineering and what that's all about. But say goodbye, Jordan. We're out of here. Have a good one, everybody. Cheers,
so
friends.
much.
We're out.
You guys.
Peace.